to the pregame show for the big game tonight.
Tonight we have a great matchup featuring Walt Whitman and the Long Island Transcendentalists against Emily Dickinson and the Massachusetts Morbids.
There's been a lot of hype in the media regarding this matchup. Let's take a look.
I mean, listen, we talking about
Meter.
not a
Rhyme.
not a
Rhyme.
not a
Rhyme.
we talking about
Meter.
not a
Rhyme.
This is quite remarkable. Hold on, let's go down to the floor. I'm getting word that Walt Whitman is ready to go. A noiseless, patient spider. I marked where on a little promontory it stood, isolated. Marked how to explore the vacant, vast surrounding. It launched forth filament, filament, filament out of itself, ever unreeling them, ever tirelessly speeding them. And you, O my soul, where you stand, surrounded, detached in measureless oceans of space, ceaselessly musing, venturing, throwing, seeking the spheres to connect them, till the bridge you will need be formed, till the ductile anchor hold, till the gossamer thread you fling catch somewhere, O my soul. What a great performance by Whitman. Let's take a look at what he did well. First thing that jumps out is his use of a metaphor. It's comparing a spider to a human. It shows that both have the courage to venture forth alone into unknown territory. The poem is written in free verse, something we've seen a lot this season from Whitman. He also uses alliteration. Let's take a look at a few examples of this. In line 3, vacant, vast, surrounding. And in line 4, launched forth filament, filament, filament. He also uses apostrophe in the poem in the second stanza when he directly addresses his soul. Lastly, Whitman managed to throw in some personification in the second stanza when he compared his soul to a person. Overall, Whitman was expressing the quest for meaning in such a vast universe and the perseverance to continue on until the gossamer thread connects to your goal. It's going to be hard for Dickinson to top that. Let's go down to the floor with an interview for Whitman.
I'm here with Walt Whitman. Walt, how did you think the performance went?
I think I did pretty well tonight. I've been working really hard all season for tonight, and I think I did pretty well.
How did you think you could have improved?
Maybe throwing in a simile here and there, something like that, but, I don't have any regrets. I think I did fine.
What can we expect from Emily Dickinson?
Well, I've heard a rumor about maybe a crazy metaphor she might try, but we'll have to wait and see for that.
Any halftime adjustments?
At this point, all I can do is wait and watch Emily.
Alright, thanks a lot, Walt.
No problem.
This is Susie Molshine reporting, ESPN.
What was your impression on Walt Whitman's poem?
You tell me. What was your impression?
No one cares about my impression.
You tell everybody here. You tell us. What was your impression?
My impression is that it was a good poem.
No, that's all right. That's a political answer. So, let me ask you the question again. What was your impression on that
poem?
We're waiting.
Was it a good poem?
I'm asking you the question. What was your impression?
I don't know what to say. What do you want me to say?
No, I want you to give everybody an honest answer.
what's
Poetry.
it's the emblem of a warrior. It's the swag of
A poet.
a champion and a dynasty. It's gifted, genius, genuine, gutsy, golden, and glorious. It is a lowercase
And uppercase combination.
which
Poetry.
it is the heart, hustle, and soul of the game.
1,000 student poets at Western, and almost all of us will be going pro in something other than poetry.
Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too, for his civility. We passed the school where children strove at recess in the ring. We passed the fields of gazing grain. We passed the setting sun. Or rather, he passed us. The dews grew quivering and chill, for only gossamer my gown, my tippet only tulle. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice but a mound. Since then 'tis centuries, and yet each feels shorter than a day. I first surmised the horses' heads were toward eternity. Let's take a look at Emily Dickinson's performance. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. That's a remarkable metaphor. Dickinson compares death to an actual person. It's really quite amazing. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. Held in ourselves is a brilliant internal rhyme. And you can't forget the end rhyme with the words me and eternity. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too, for his civility. He, haste, had, and his make for an outstanding alliteration. I know she struggled with alliteration earlier this season, but she's been working really hard in practice, and clearly the hard work paid off. We passed the school where children strove at recess in the ring. We passed the fields of grazing grain. We passed the setting sun. Whew. Emily Dickinson presents an incredible image here. The school references her childhood, the fields are midlife, and the setting sun represents death. Truly incredible. In the fourth stanza, she internally rhymes, do and grew, and she alliterates tippet and tulle. That's nice. In stanza 5, she uses the word cornice. For those of you who don't know, a cornice is a horizontal molding along the top of a wall. And finally, to wrap up her brilliant performance, she says, since then 'tis centuries, and yet each feels shorter than a day. Here she is using a paradox in which a century is shorter than a day. Emily Dickinson did a very nice job following Walt Whitman's mind-blowing performance.
Great job there.
We're now getting word that we have the results. Your winner is Emily Dickinson.
You know, I agree with that decision. The use of the metaphor was just truly remarkable.
And her imagery, you can't forget the imagery. It was fantastic.
Right. But a round of applause for Walt Whitman. You know, he did a great job too.
Fantastic job.
We're here with Emily Dickinson. How does it feel to win?
Feels awesome. Me and Walter have a long-standing rivalry, and it's just great to beat him.
What did you do well in order to beat him?
I think my imagery was probably my best part of my poem. It really came through, and it was the spark that I needed to win.
Right. Do you have any kind words for all the kids that want to be you someday? You know, what do you tell them that they need to work on?
It's really just a matter of being yourself. That's all it takes, really.
Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
Laurel Page, ESPN.